Welcome to today's Explainer, guys. We're going to dive straight in and unpack a fascinating little microdrama that's unfolding in what seems like just an ordinary outdoor pond. Today, we're looking at a confined aquatic environment where multiple generations of zebra-cichlids are suddenly forced to share the same space. And honestly, the stakes could not be higher for the newest arrivals. This is a story all about the absolute unpredictability of nature, the stress of ecosystem management, and some truly fascinating cichlid behavior. We are pulling this from a really concise but super dramatic observation published on August 13th, 2026. It's titled Notes on Fishkeeping, Parts 316, written by an aquarist named Ang. This isn't just your casual hobbyist. This is someone who meticulously documents the daily ins and outs of their tanks and ponds. In this particular entry, Ang is detailing a very real, very high-stakes situation in their multi-generational outdoor pond. It's basically a real-time look at a caretaker trying to handle a situation that is just rapidly spiraling out of their direct control. So let's jump right into Section 1, the unexpected second generation, and see exactly how this whole situation kicked off. To really get the crisis, we have to understand the catalyst first. Ang is basically scratching their head wondering what exactly triggered this last remaining pair of zebra-cichlids to just randomly start spawning again. Was it that recent heat wave, the water temp spike mimicking a specific breeding season? Or is this just totally predictable seasonal behavior for this specific pair? In the fish-keeping hobby, as you probably know, temperature fluctuations are massive triggers. Literally just a spike in heat can flip a biological switch, telling the fish it's time to reproduce, which completely throws a wrench into the aquarist's carefully managed timeline. Whatever the cause was, whether it was the heat wave or just their natural internal clock, the reality is undeniable. A brand new, incredibly vulnerable generation of tiny fry is now navigating the bottom of the pond. Just picture it from their perspective for a second. They just hatched, they're trying to find their bearings in this massive outdoor space, darting around looking for microscopic food. They are totally oblivious to the much larger threats swimming literally just inches above them. And those threats bring us right to Section 2, the sibling snack threat. The contrast in this pond right now is stark. Down low, you have these delicate newborns, but sharing that exact same body of water, they're older siblings. We're talking juvenile zebra-cichlids from a completely previous spawning cycle. And look, in the aquatic world, the rule is brutally simple. If it fits in a fish's mouth, it's considered food. These older teens are significantly bigger, way faster, and they are constantly on the prowl for a high-protein snack. They absolutely do not look at these tiny fry and see family. They see an easy, nutrient-dense meal floating right into their territory. Now, as a responsible caretaker, Ang actually foresaw this exact problem. In the post, Ang mentions trying to catch and relocate these older, dangerous teenagers to other ponds to get them away from the babies. But if you've ever managed an outdoor pond, you know it is a nightmare to catch a fast fish in there. There's plants, there's deep corners, there are a million places to hide from a net. So, because of that, some of those older juveniles manage to evade capture. And that changes the whole shebang. It means a clash is absolutely inevitable if those newborns aren't fiercely protected. The threat is literally still swimming right there in the water with them.
Normally, nature has a pretty solid defense mechanism for this, but as we'll see in Section 3, a failure to protect, things totally derailed. Usually, we'd absolutely expect the brooding pair, the parents, to step up to the plate. Cichlids are legendary for their aggressive parental care. They form these incredibly strong pair bonds, and once those fry hatch, the parents are supposed to be the ultimate shield. They'll typically chase away fish 3 times their size just to defend their young from predators like those older juveniles.
But here is the massive plot twist in our microdrama. Despite everything we know about cichlid parenting instincts, nature threw a total curveball. Ang writes, quote, "Both parents hid inside the artificial cave, leaving the fry fully exposed," end quote. I mean, wow. Why did that happen? Well, remember those relocation attempts we just talked about? Ang thrusting a massive net into the water, splashing around trying to catch those older juveniles? That actually caused a huge panic in the pond. The extreme stress from that whole intervention basically short-circuited the parents' protective instincts. They panicked, bolted for their artificial cave, and just completely abandoned their post, leaving the tiny fry defenseless against their hungry older siblings. With the parents in hiding, the aquarist is now stuck. Let's look at Section 4, to intervene or observe. So Ang is at this fascinating crossroads, weighing 2 completely different approaches. Option 1 is to go back in and heavily intervene again. Maybe set up a specialized, quiet fish trap to slowly capture those remaining juveniles without causing another huge panic. But Aang is hesitant, noting that it's difficult and honestly, it might just cause even more stress. Option 2 is the totally hands-off approach. Just step back, leave them be, and simply observe the natural survival rate. Let the chips, or I guess the fry, fall where they may. If Aang does leave them entirely alone, this pond basically stops being a curated display and transforms into this ruthless, multi-generational biological experiment. Will these new fry figure out how to hide deep in the algae and the rocks? Will they grow fast enough to not fit in their siblings' mouth? Or are the older siblings just going to systematically hunt them down until there are none left? This is the raw reality of natural ecosystems happening every single day, just miniaturized and contained right here in Aang's backyard. So the big takeaway I want to leave you with today is this ultimate question of intervention versus observation in the crazy theater of nature. When we manage an ecosystem, what exactly is our job? Are we supposed to be these heavy-handed protectors ensuring every single little life makes it? Or are we just observers, there to facilitate an environment where natural and sometimes incredibly harsh instincts just play out? It's a tough call. How many fry do you actually think will survive this aquatic gauntlet? And really, if this were your pond, when would you step in?